Hello, this is Gihan Pereira. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here in beautiful Brisbane. I've just finished work with the senior leaders of an organisation that's looking at changing the way that they do business. So they're doing a strategic planning day, and the CEO and the board and the senior leaders recognize that the way they did business in the past and the way they have been doing it is going to be okay in the future, but they're probably going to be disrupted by some outsiders. So they're looking at how they can disrupt themselves. It's a really good thing to do. They're saying, how can we be proactive rather than being reactive when a disruptor comes in? And we talked about, the well-known examples of disruption of Netflix disrupting Blockbuster, of Kodak being disrupted by things like Flickr and then Instagram. And one of the leaders in the group asked me, there are lots of examples of businesses being disrupted by others, but are there examples of businesses that successfully disrupted themselves, which is what we're looking to do? And look, the answer is yes. There's probably not as many of them, and they're probably not as well known, because of course it's sexier to talk about an established business being disrupted by a little savvy startup like Netflix. But there are certainly examples of businesses who, if you like, they saw the writing on the wall and they decided to disrupt themselves before somebody came along and disrupted their business. And Netflix actually is a good example. So they first disrupted Blockbuster, but later on they disrupted themselves as well, because Netflix didn't start off as a streaming media company that creates content, which is the way that we know it now. Netflix started off competing with Blockbuster, but instead of having physical stores, they had mail order video, actually DVDs. And then they disrupted themselves and went to digital, and then disrupted themselves again, and have now become a content creation company. So there are some examples of this, some really good examples. Netflix is not the only one. There are some other examples which I talked about in my book, Disrupted. And what I've done is I've put together a worksheet here where I've listed for you some examples of companies that took the initiative and disrupted themselves. And if you're a leader in an organization thinking about what might happen to your organization in the future, can I invite you to use this worksheet with your team members? Look at some of these examples and pick one and explore what this might mean for your business, your organization. Is it possible for you to disrupt yourself using one of the models that these organizations use? Because I think it's incumbent on all of us, especially as leaders, to think about disruption, not only the way that we're going to evolve, but also the way that we might be disrupted by a complete outsider in the future. Hope you found it useful. I'll see you in the